Hi everyone, here we are back at Apex Point Racing League in the Foundation Cup, and we're in Season 10, Round 1 at Kyoto Driving Park, where we're going to do 20 laps in the Group 3 car, of course, and we have 13 entries in this evening's race. So I've managed to qualify in 4th, which is my best ever qualifying. Quite sure why. This is a fairly technical track, and the low speed corners is generally not my forte, but as you can see here, even the high speed corners aren't always my forte either, as I managed to dip a wheel on the grass when I see Ghost hitting a little bit tight on the corner, and I think I might be able to track around the outside. For my troubles, I'm about 7 seconds behind the whole field now, so head down and try and get some quick laps in to see where I can recover the evening. My goal for the evening was to finish P5, or better of course, but I was aiming for a midfield finish for this race, having done a fair bit of practice and being very comfortable in the 992 Porsche, which I just find quite a joy to drive compared to some of the other stuff I have tried in GT7 over the years. So we head down and we're chasing up to the group. We can see some cars will start to appear ahead, which is quite surprising to be catching that quickly. Of course, on the first lap there's often a little bit of carnage, and so there might be a free pass here or there with luck, but you can see these cars aren't all that far ahead, and surprise surprise, there's a yellow flag and I move up a place. You can see the car there on the outside on the grass, so that is a real positive to keep me focused and motivated to see if I can recover. So I'm rapidly catching up to the back, and I've got the elder just ahead of me, and put my nose in tight to see whether I can get a run here, and I just managed to stay ahead of him, and thankfully when we get into turn 1, he's tucked in behind me and hasn't attempted a ascend down the inside. So back into 10th, and plenty of cars ahead to focus on. Next one up the road is Yowie. Yowie's a really good and seasoned driver, a pleasure to race against. Done a lot of racing in the last couple of leagues against him, and always very fair racer. So I'm catching up reasonably quickly and just trying to work out where the best line might be to get a run on him. Funnily enough, on this lap I touch the grass and nothing happens. Of course, my tyres are nicely warmed up by now, and I probably just kept the foot in the hope that nothing went wrong. So our second lap was a 21.5, so pretty happy with that, and the third lap's a bit slower because we're in traffic, and get up and around the outside of Yowie, and it's still pretty close to me, so I've got to work hard to hold on to this position. Down into the bowl again. As you can see, it's a pretty windy old track and very technical, and easy to lose some time through this part of the circuit. But I'm second and a quarter down on my best lap at this stage, but I have been through the traffic and I can see cars up ahead, so again with Grumpy up ahead to aim at, that will pull me along pretty well, I think. So we're on lap 4, back down through this tricky section. Easy to run off the road here. I did it quite a few times in practice on the grass, so I'm always a little cautious here. I'm probably slower than everyone else just through this part of the circuit, only that I know the push will over-rotate on that downhill if I get it wrong, so I'm always just a little bit conservative there. So running in 9th, and I won't run the whole event. I will jump forward into later laps. So we cross in on lap 5 and running in 9th at this stage. Not really making a lot of time on Grumpy here, just focused on apexes and getting some exit speed. My Achilles heel is my speed out of the corners. I tend to be losing most of the time to the faster drivers on the exits of the corners, so I'm probably over driving the car on the entry rather than the slow in and fast out that everyone talks about. So a little bit to be still gained in that regard with some more practice. Tight through here, just trying to decide on where I might be able to pick up an extra little bit of time so it gets me close enough to Grumpy so I can try and make a move further up the field. And here he's made a little mistake, I think, and I've go for a run on the outside and very kindly doesn't challenge me, and I'm off down the road looking for Reaper. So on lap 5 I'm on the alternative strategy. I've started on the mediums, whereas most of the fast guys, I think, have started on the soft tyres. So there'll be some cars, and there you go, where you can see Casper's in the pits already for some tyres. So I come out just ahead of him, but he's on very fresh tyres. Not that mine look too bad. The mediums were wearing quite well, I found, as opposed to the softs, which I managed to be able to burn through in practice fairly quickly. So Casper's on the better tyres, stayed of his way, let him get through, and just try and tie into the back of him and use him as a pace guide. So we're on now lap 6 of 20, and my target lap for tyres is going to be 14 if I can make the mediums last long enough. The problem with this circuit is there's a lot of work goes into the front tyres, but nevertheless here I am just behind Willie, and he's dicing a bit with Casper, so that should slow them down a bit. Take a very high and wide line and then try and cut down to see if I can get some pace. But it didn't actually make a lot of difference. The elder's still hanging on there behind me and doing a great job. I think in his first season with APRL. So good to see some new drivers coming in. Sneak down under Willie, and possibly these may well be drivers on soft tyres that are really starting to show their age. So maybe that's what the difference is, but I'll take it nonetheless and try and get tucked in behind Casper again. He's doing a sterling job setting lap times in the mid-20s. As you can see, he's holding the fastest lap at this stage of the race. So not a bad car to have ahead of you and to be following and learning from. So we come through down this back straight into the part where the two tracks join together. So we've got the long circuit in use here. Lots of time to be gained by getting this part of the course right. So again, trying to learn from these fast guys up ahead. You can see Casper's already picked up another place, and I've got Racer's Edge in front of me, but he's on the grass, and Casper is balked a bit, so I go down the outside. There's probably way too much room on the inside there and spoil my exit, so Willie's right behind me again, but we're all getting about the same draft up the straight, so just watching closer here with a Willie who's going to have a run in the inside, but decides against it, and we continue on tail to tail, all four of us. Almost looks like a one-mate cup here at the moment. The new 992 Porsche, very drivable, particularly for beginners like myself. It can set reasonably good times consistently, and it is very stable to drive. Very good under brakes, I found. I really like the braking model with it. Not too bad on fuel and tyres compared to the other options as well. I have tried the 296 Ferrari, but it was just a bit of a handful for me in terms of keeping it straight ahead and economical for a longer race. Lap 9 comes and goes. Coming down into the bowl again. Back straight. Tricky little tight section here on where the two tracks join. And watching pretty closely at my tyres. My front right is about half worn. This is one of the things I find with the Porsche. It's reasonably comfortable on worn tyres as opposed to the Ferrari, which I found was very finicky when the tyres started to wear. Pretty average line through that corner. Lost a bit of time there, and I think at this stage I'm starting to be a little cautious with those tyres being where they are temperature wise. So you can see quite a few cars in the pits at this stage. So this is half distance, so these are probably drivers who are doing 2 stints on mediums. So we had a mandatory medium tyre compound which I've started on, and I'm trying to push them as far as I can so that I can finish on softs, in the hope that they will give me a little advantage over the others that will by then have somewhat worn mediums on their vehicles. So I'm up as high as second here now, so we're on lap 11, so I have skipped ahead a bit, and Casper's now sitting out in front. Probably doesn't have any more stops to do, I wouldn't think. Most of the cars were on a one stop. So pushing forward ahead again, jump forward a bit. Nothing much has changed here. Only that my front right tyre is starting to really complain, and I have to be quite cautious when I do any of these long, fast left-hand bends. I fear that I end up with an off-track situation. You can see here what the tire temperature does on that front right. There we go, 98 degrees at one stage. So yeah, it didn't have a lot of life left in that front right, as you can see on that red bar. Still plenty of fuel. Could probably actually get home without any fuel with a bit of fuel saving, but not quite what I had in mind plan wise. So we're on lap 13, and I'm umming and ahhing at this stage about, do I go for tyres or do I go one more lap? No, I think better of it and see if I can get the soft tyres to last to the end. And in practice, this was right on the limit of what those could do. A little bit of splash of fuel just to make sure, and they come out in P6 with a nice gap on the circuit. Nice clean air up front, so it's now or never to try and get back to that 5th position that was my objective at the start of this race. And I'm just one place back, subject to Willie not getting through on my cold softs. And he thinks about it, but decides to stay behind. My tyres will be pretty close to up to really decent operating temperature by now, almost towards the end of lap 14. And yeah, I'm hitting apexes and being reasonably tight everywhere, so those tyres were giving me good service, good grip, and I could confidently just place the car where I wanted it and defend if I needed to. With Willie, you can see it came in there fairly tight, stayed tight all the way, so it didn't really leave much option for him. What he would do, watching here, is he going to send it down the inside? He's not close enough, so I stay on the outside and just try and keep momentum through these S's, particularly because you're now going uphill and you don't want to throw any pace away before you start that section. Oh, a yellow flag, so car off here somewhere. Are we going to get another free position? No, but someone must have been off the track there. Maybe Rooster, not sure. Well, 6 laps to go, and soft tyres are looking pretty good. Pretty happy with that. I was being as cautious as I possibly could on those big, long, sweeping rights to try and keep the tyres in good condition as long as I could. But as I'm catching these cars, and there's position 5, which is my objective for the race, just ahead, it's tempting to push on hard now. And I think I'm doing just that by the looks of those lines. Coming down to here, I just set a best sector time for the race. For me, personal best time, so yeah, I'm pushing hard enough. And you can see with those new tyres, I can rotate the car really well. I don't have to drift right out off the track if I don't want to. So closing up here on Rooster, which is again a bit unusual because he's another good long-term league player who's very quick in our class. I'm holding on to my personal best times here, which I have to be happy with that. Yeah, look how tight I can run that corner now. Drift it out wide and see if I can get some draft. Down to Rooster. Ooh, okay, they're going to be close there. Hope I didn't hit him. have been very close to getting that stopped in time. I think that's the earlier push. I'm not sure that that's the 992. I think that might be the 2017 push it is in. Yep. On the inside here, almost get a run on him. Tried to tuck him tight and use those good tyres to power him down the inside, but it didn't really work. You're defending very well here, holding on the inside. We're onto the main straight. I'll tuck him really tight, right up close behind him, as close as I can dare to run without doing some damage, and I send it on the inside. Does it work? No. You can hold speed on that outside line a lot better. I had to back out and rethink about where the next opportunity might be, and this long flowing left hand bend is another potential, but I don't think I'm close enough to him on this lap to do anything about it. I close up, but yeah, I'm not anywhere close enough to get down through there. So rethinking what next. I haven't done a lot of racing, so my racecraft is probably the thing that's my least known quantity. Confidence in where to send the car and when to send the car is something I need to learn a lot more about. So yeah, again with better tyres and being close enough there, it might have been possible to send it on the inside and try for a block. But yeah, it's not something that I have any confidence in. So I'm sitting back, probably at this stage thinking, well, you know, 5th or 6th, that's pretty close to the objective for the night, and I could lose 6th very quickly if I do something wrong. I'll try hit there to stay on the inside and get a tighter exit, but it just cost me time. You can see how much time that cost. 2 or 3 car lengths. So we're on lap 17 now. There's not many laps left to get this done if I'm going to get it done. Green sector, so still doing okay lap time wise, and sizing up the possibilities here. 1/4 of a second up on my best at that stage. Yeah, nice and close there. Gets away from me. Stay in tight, he goes out wide, comes across, defends the inside quite well. Yeah, we're pretty evenly matched at this stage. Yeah, it must be 992 as well, surely. So he's defending here, you can see tight on this horseshoe. I never did master that all night, I don't think, time-wise. You can see I lost a little bit to my best. My best lap at this stage only 0.1 off the fastest time that Casper set, so be happy with that. Obviously driving at a pace that is pretty appropriate for this league, and in fact take the fastest lap on lap 17. Wow. So I was about a tenth over, now I'm about a tenth under. And I almost get Rooster through there. So close to getting past. Just 3 laps left. Patience. That's all I can play this game, is now patience, and see whether his tyres will be as good as mine at the end. The softs are looking remarkably okay, given they didn't tend to last very well in practice. So a little bit of a wiggle on the tail there. Maybe the tyres on Rooster's car are starting to become tired. I'll stay in tight, try and get a fast run out of here. Just again, just not enough pace to do any sort of pass. But here we are, caught up to Ghost, who I'm guessing has had an off track, because he's right with us now. And all 3 of us are here together. And Rooster manages to get past him. I managed to get past him as well, and he must have held Rooster up, because I get a chance to finally get past. And let's see if I can hold on to this, because I'm now showing 4th. So someone's been into the pits, I'm guessing, for some fuel and tyres perhaps. Interesting. So someone that was ahead of us is now behind. So 4th, well, there you go. It was after 5th, now we've got 4th. What can we do? 2 laps. We've got 2 laps. And we can see 3rd place just up the road. And clearly we're quicker than Rooster, because we've got quite a few car links on him now. So would have been good to get past earlier, I think. I need to learn that, because clearly I was a little quicker. Which is most unusual. I must say, I am not used to being in this position at all. This is not my normal league race. No, normal league race is finishing, 7, 8, 9 down the bottom of the field, running around behind everyone else. So I'm unsure what to put this down to. Made a couple of minor changes over the off season. We did a bit of training. But I'll take it. I'm not complaining. Checkered globe up ahead is in the Honda NSX, which I drove for a season before, and technically this Porsche should be much more rapid than that NSX, but I've got to be able to maximise the potential of my car as well. So this is coming up to the end of lap 19, and I'm getting closer and closer to the car in third. Final lap. And I've gone even quicker. I've actually gone down another 10th and a half. So I'm really working. The softs are just hanging on, but they've only got to do one more lap. So I'm really working hard, obviously, with that time, lap time, to get to this third place car. And here I am. I'm right there. This is not something I am at all used to, and so this is all new and all new to learn what to do. So I have a lap to get onto the podium. Unheard of. Checkered Globe's new driver with the league's just come in, so don't really know a lot about him, but obviously if he can pedal an NSX that quickly, then he's pretty damn good, that's for sure. So coming down here, the right answer's probably an inside block pass, and he goes in and covers that pretty well, and I tried to go in late but had to avoid him and ran out on the marbles on the outside. Lost a little bit of time, but not much. Just couldn't get the power on to do a full around the outside overtake. And again here I try and tuck in tight, but probably a little bit too tight. Could have been a little bit more aggressive perhaps, out towards the outside. And not far to go now. If you're going to get on the podium, it's pretty much now or never. And unfortunately, I brake a bit late, I think, and scarily ran off on the grass and really thought I was about to lose my P4. I just had enough in hand and had a lucky glance off the fence, and there we go, P4, which is exactly one place better than my objective for the night. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.